The powerful transit of the lunar nodes. 2025. How Pisces and Virgo will change your life. Dear soul on the move, today we will delve into a fundamental astrological aspect for this year that has just begun. A great change in the life of each of us due to the transit of the lunar nodes in Pisces and Virgo. The year 2025 opens with an astrological event of great importance, the transit of the axis of the lunar nodes between the archetypes of Pisces and Virgo. This phenomenon, which will have profound implications on a karmic and collective level, closes a cycle that began over a century ago, precisely in 1914, and destined to influence global and spiritual balances in the coming years. Let's analyze the details of this important passage and the historical and symbolic context that surrounds it. Before starting, however, I ask you to subscribe to the channel by clicking the bell so as not to miss all the new videos. Thank you. Let's get started. The meaning of the axis of the lunar nodes. The axis of the lunar nodes represents a pivotal point in karmic astrology. The North Node symbolizes destiny, the evolutionary mission, while the South Node represents the past, the unresolved issues that must be addressed to free oneself from karmic bonds. In the case of Pisces and Virgo, we are faced with two complementary archetypes. Pisces evokes dissolution, intuition, and transcendence, while Virgo embodies rootedness, order, and material discipline. This transit is therefore an invitation to balance the world of spirit with that of matter. A series of 7 transits. From 1914 to the present, the axis of the lunar nodes has crossed the archetypes Pisces and Virgo on 7 occasions, each of which marked events of historical significance. 1914, 1916. The First World War marks the beginning of an era of great global conflicts. This transit highlights the disintegration of ancient political and social structures, paving the way for a new world order. 1932 to 1933. During this period, Hitler rises to power in Germany, imposing an authoritarian regime and laying the foundations for the Second World War. 1950–1953. The fall of the ancient Chinese political system and the emergence of the People's Republic of China polarized the world between East and West. 1969–1979. The Vietnam War causes a profound change in the geopolitical and social structure of Asia. 1987–1989. The fall of the Berlin Wall represents a moment of great liberation and disintegration of the previous geopolitical balances. 2006–2008. The subprime mortgage crisis and Pluto's entry into Capricorn mark a turning point in the global economy. 2025–2026. The 7th and final transit closes the cycle that began in 1914, bringing with it an energy of reckoning and definitive transformation. The implications of the transit 2025–2026. According to the proposed analysis, this year's transit represents the culmination of a collective karmic path. The symbolism of Pisces and Virgo highlights the need to face illusions, fears, and spiritual disconnections. Pisces, while at the same time inviting us to build solid and responsible foundations. Virgo. This balance is essential to address the challenges of an increasingly complex and polarized world. One of the most relevant predictions concerns the possible collapse of the Anglo-American system, seen as the symbol of an economy and politics dominated by materialism and the thirst for profit. This system, which has profoundly influenced the 20th century, could be destined to leave room for new, more equitable, and sustainable global balances. The archetypes of Pisces and Virgo, in this context, take on a particular meaning. Pisces, symbol of disintegration and transcendence. Pisces represents the dissolution of existing structures and the opening to new spiritual dimensions. This archetype invites us to let go of what is no longer necessary and to embrace a sense of cosmic unity. Virgo, on the other hand, is the archetype of precision and rootedness. It teaches us to take responsibility for our actions and to create order in chaos, ensuring that spiritual changes are accompanied by a solid material foundation. The role of history and spirituality. A central element of the analysis is the reference to historical and spiritual figures who have contributed to delineating the course of events. Rudolf Steiner, with his vision of the spiritual mission of Europe, emphasized the importance of uniting peoples through a higher consciousness. The connection between Europe and Russia, advocated by Steiner, is seen as a possible solution to create a global spiritual balance. Recent events and ascension portals. During the year 2025, numerous ascension portals are planned, offering opportunities for spiritual and collective growth. These portals are described as moments when cosmic energies facilitate the passage to higher dimensions of awareness. According to some testimonies, this could also include extraordinary events, such as the arrival of symbolic spiritual figures, symbolizing the collective awakening. Notre Dame and the symbolism of destruction. The cathedral is not only a place of worship, but an iconic monument of Western spirituality and culture. The fire of 2019 represented, in the eyes of many, a metaphor for the spiritual crisis of modern society. The perception of the contaminated. Some believe that Notre Dame, even if it is rebuilt, will never be the same sacred place again, as it has lost its spirit. This concept of contamination could be linked to the idea of a spirituality that is now too often exploited or debased by modernity. What does contamination really mean in a spiritual context? Is it a symbolic loss or an inevitable transformation? Parallels to modern society. The event is connected to larger themes, such as corruption and spiritual disconnection. Notre Dame could represent the reflection of a humanity that has lost contact with its collective soul, focusing more and more on material and superficial aspects. Resilience and dualism. On the one hand, the reconstruction of Notre Dame is seen as a symbol of hope and rebirth, capable of bringing people together around a common project. On the other hand, a skeptical narrative emerges, according to which this is a mere act of appearance, devoid of authentic spirituality. This dualism reflects the human dilemma between faith in rebirth and cynicism toward the real intentions that drive such endeavors. Connections to global transformation. When contextualized within the transit of the lunar node axis described in the document, Notre Dame could take on an even broader meaning as a symbol of a karmic cycle of dissolution and reconstruction. This recalls the archetype of Pisces, transcendence and dissolution, and Virgo, order and grounding, representing the need to balance these two aspects in our approach to the sacred. Conclusion: the end of a cycle. The transit of the lunar node axis between Pisces and Virgo represents the closing of a historical and karmic cycle of great importance. This time invites us to reflect on the lessons of the past and prepare for a future of greater awareness and responsibility. The challenge is to integrate spiritual wisdom with practical action, building a world that is in balance between heaven and earth, between the visible and the invisible. I hope you enjoyed the video and it can be useful to you. Share the video with those you think might appreciate it. Thanks for watching this far. See you in the next video.